And what does Nick Saban expect for Bama in 2025? Have you seen it? Let's get to the news about Bama, but first subscribe to the channel. The transition in Alabama football after the long and successful Nick Saban era is a chapter that carries both nostalgia and expectation. Now, with Jaylen Milro at the helm of the coaching staff, the Crimson Tide enters a new phase that promises to be challenging, but also full of potential. Saban's recent statements about the future of the program in 2025 reveal a mix of cautious optimism and respect for the adaptation process that the team is going through. It is important to note that Saban, even off the field, continues to be a central figure in the universe of college sports. His inclusion in the future Federal Commission on College Athletics created by President Donald Trump, as well as his return to ESPN's College Game Day, demonstrate that his influence goes beyond the field. However, when asked about Alabama in 2025, he chose words that reflect humility and confidence in the work that is being done by DeBoer and his athletes. Saban was direct in stating that he has no specific expectations for the season. But that does not mean that he is indifferent to the team's future. On the contrary, his words indicate that he recognizes the size of the challenge faced by the team. The departure of several key players, the implementation of a new tactical system and the need for adjustments within the roster are factors that weighed on the 9-4 campaign recorded in 2024, the first with fewer than 10 wins since 2007. That scenario, however, seems to be starting to change. According to Saban, the players are more settled this year. This phrase may sound simple, but it carries a deep meaning. Settling in here has nothing to do with relaxation or lack of ambition. It's a natural process of adaptation. With a year of experience under DeBoer, the players seem to be better internalizing the concepts and strategies of the new coaching staff. This could be a game changer for the team's performance on the field. Jaylen Milro, known for his ability to develop talent and implement dynamic offensive systems, has the challenge of maintaining Alabama's legacy of competitiveness in an increasingly competitive scenario. The transition period experienced in 2024 was inevitable, but there are now clear signs that the program is finding its rhythm. The adjustments needed to align the group with DeBoer's style of play seem to be solidifying, and this paves the way for more consistent results. In addition, Saban himself highlighted the players' effort to be the best they can be. This mentality is essential for a program that has always prided itself on its culture of excellence. Even without the iconic coach on a daily basis, the values he helped build remain present at Alabama. And that's something DeBoer has sought to preserve while imprinting his own identity on the team. The focus for 2025 will be on how the Crimson Tide can handle the growing demands of modern college football. Competitive recruiting, evolving offensive and defensive schemes, and the pressure to deliver are challenges no team can afford to ignore. In Alabama's case, the issue is not just reclaiming its dominant status, but also ensuring that the program remains a beacon in the sport. The region's Tradition Golf Tournament, where Saban made his remarks, served as a reminder that the former coach remains close to the sport, albeit in a different way. His presence at events like these keeps his emotional connection with Alabama and its fans alive. And by sharing his thoughts on the team's future, he reinforces the importance of giving DeBoer's renewal process time. Not just in terms of results, but also in how the program can balance tradition with innovation. With Saban acting as a silent guardian and DeBoer shaping the future, the Crimson Tide has everything it needs to reclaim its place among the giants of college football. Let's hope Alabama is big this year. Jaylen Milro's arrival at the Seattle Seahawks marks the beginning of a new era for both the young quarterback and the NFL team. The Seahawks' decision to use Milro, still a rookie, in specific packages that exploit his exceptional ability as a runner is a strategy that reflects both the reality of his development and the creativity of the offensive scheme that the team's head coach plans to implement. Ever since his days at Alabama, Milro has drawn attention not only for his ability to lead the offense with his vision of the game, but mainly for being one of the most explosive and dynamic quarterbacks when it comes to running. His speed, evidenced by his 4.37-second 40-yard dash time at Alabama Pro Day, and his physical strength and contact plays have made him a unique weapon in college football. With 33 rushing touchdowns and an impressive 1,577 yards in his 2 seasons as a starter, Milro has proven that he can change the course of a game with his legs as easily as with his passes. However, the transition to the NFL always requires adjustments, especially for quarterbacks who need to improve their passing game skills. This is where the Seahawks plan for Milro comes into its own. The team is clearly aware that he still needs to develop his accuracy and decision-making as a passer. That's why, rather than pressuring him to immediately compete with Sam Darnold or Drew Lock for the QB1 or QB2 position, the Seahawks have opted to gradually and strategically integrate him into the offense. The idea of using Milro in specific packages during games is a smart and practical decision. It will allow him to gain experience on the field without burdening him with responsibilities that are still beyond his reach at the moment. In addition, this approach also creates an extra dimension to the Seahawks offense, making it less predictable and more versatile. Imagine, for example, short yardage touchdown situations or tough third-down conversions, where Milro could step onto the field as a dual threat, capable of running the ball or even throwing unexpected passes. That flexibility is something few teams in the league can offer. Learning from Sam Darnold will be another important factor in Milro's development. Darnold, despite the criticism he has faced throughout his career, has a wealth of NFL experience. He can help Milro better understand the nuances of the professional game, from reading defenses to managing the play clock. That mentorship will be essential to Milro's eventual rise to a more central role in the future. Another interesting detail is how the Seahawks seem to be thinking outside the box when shaping their offense. Rather than trying to force Milro into a traditional quarterback mold, the team is embracing his unique traits. This echoes recent examples in the NFL, such as Lamar Jackson with the Baltimore Ravens or Josh Allen with the Buffalo Bills, where teams have found success by tailoring their systems to the specific skills of their quarterbacks. If the Seahawks can do the same with Milro, they could be onto something special. Of course, there are challenges ahead. Milro will need to prove he can handle the complexity of NFL defenses, which are much more aggressive and well-organized than anything he faced in college. And his ability to avoid injuries will be tested, as quarterbacks who run a lot tend to be targets. However, the way the Seahawks are structuring his starting lineup suggests the team is aware of these risks and is taking precautions. Jaylen Milro's rookie season promises to be an exciting one for Seattle Seahawks fans. While he's not expected to start, his presence on the roster already brings a new element of excitement and creativity to the offense. At the same time, Milro's continued development will be crucial in determining whether he can become a centerpiece of the team's future. It remains to be seen how that journey will unfold, but early signs indicate that Milro has what it takes to become a great NFL prospect. Man, that was unexpected. The news that Xavier Griffin, one of Alabama's top targets for the 2026 recruiting class, has backed out of his verbal commitment to USC has brought a wave of optimism to Crimson Tide fans. Griffin, a 5-star linebacker who currently plays for Gainesville High School in Georgia, has been widely considered one of the top recruits of the upcoming recruiting cycle, and his connection to Alabama has always been evident. A native of Huntsville, Alabama, Griffin grew up in an environment where football is practically synonymous with tradition and excellence represented by the Crimson Tide. It's no exaggeration to say that he carries a special connection to Bama. In recent months, Griffin has been openly transparent about how much he feels valued by Alabama, highlighting the personalized attention and strategic focus that the recruiting staff has given him. Alabama's interest in Griffin is directly tied to the specific position Christian Robinson and his staff plan to develop within the defensive scheme, the Wolf linebacker. This hybrid position has become increasingly crucial in modern football, requiring a versatile player who can play multiple roles. The Wolf must be effective at pressuring the quarterback while running off the edge, covering passes in specific situations, and still have the athleticism to play sideline to sideline, skills that are exactly what Griffin's game is all about. His unique combination of speed, instinct, and physical strength make him an ideal prototype for this role. Griffin is not only an impressive physical athlete, but he also demonstrates an advanced understanding of the game, something Alabama has historically valued in its recruits. His ability to quickly diagnose plays and adjust his position on defense makes him a player who can make an immediate impact at the college level. Griffin's decision to decommit from USC is not only significant for Alabama, but it also reflects a strategic shift in its approach to recruiting. Despite being a tough choice, the young linebacker seems to be signaling that he is looking for a program that offers the best alignment with his ambitions and style of play. And in that context, Alabama emerges as an extremely attractive option. The Crimson Tide has a long and successful history of developing elite linebackers. Players like C.J. Mosley, Reuben Foster, and Will Anderson Jr., the latter being another example of a hybrid athlete who has mastered the Wolf position. For Griffin, the opportunity to follow in their footsteps and mold himself into a program that prioritizes individual development within a solid collective system should be a deciding factor. In addition, geographic proximity and family roots in Alabama may play a big part in Griffin's final decision. Many high-profile recruits tend to value the chance to play close to home, especially when the local program is recognized as a national powerhouse. The emotional and cultural connection to the state and the Crimson Tide program could be the important differentiator. If Alabama can seal this recruitment, it will be adding another impressive and very interesting chapter. I can't wait to hear your thoughts.